You must truly, truly get your house in order. There's a much bigger thing at play here. In today's video, I'm going to break down what's happening in the financial realm with the attack in Israel. It's very important to understand origin of what is actually happening. So I'm going to break down some facts, figures, numbers, logic, and share my opinion on where I think this is going. First of all, I want to say my family or my family's heart and our prayers go out to all the people affected by this. Just unbelievably, from my heart to yours, we love you so, so much. So, every single person in humanity is being affected by this. It's very sad. It's very disheartening. So, I want to make that very clear. I'm not discounting anything bad that's happening. God loves you. We love you. Amen. All right, so let's dive right into this. So, in today's video, I'm going to break down just some facts, figures, numbers, logic we need to pay attention. Remember, when they tell us to look this way, there's always another narrative going on this way. And this is a big distraction over this way, guys. So, what I'm going to break down for you today is the 1 year, 50 years to the date that Israel was invaded. And I'm going to try to connect some dots, some facts, figures, numbers, logic financially, and break down the macro and microeconomics. And I'll share with you my opinion on where I think they're taking us with this. Okay. First, I want to share with you 2 free resources. My goal is to help over 1 million people in the next 12 months. Number one is the Warrior's Guide to Financial Freedom. There's been so many people ask me how I did it, how I went from parents' couch to financial freedom to my 5 pillars of wealth. The exact guide, it's completely free. So in the description of this video or in my social media profile, you click on the link. There's the free book. It'll be in your inbox in 15 minutes. Then there's the free consultation, which is separate with my Index Universal Life team. So if you're worried about your 401k with these volatile markets, which I believe are going to come pulling back heavily due to this war in Israel and all the different distractions that are happening right now. If you're worried about your 401k or you're worried about your retirement and you want to understand how the wealthy secure, compound, and grow their wealth with tax code 7702, called the Infinity Banking Concept, securing and growing your wealth with insurance. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I have licensed insurance agents in all 50 states with my company. So if you set up a consultation, you'll meet with one of my agents, and it's a free consultation to have a conversation around how to protect, secure, and compound. So if you're worried about your retirement or you don't have a retirement, and you want to see how one of our 5 pillars of wealth, we use tier 1 capital, which is the most secure capital to secure, compound, and grow. That's in the description of this video or in my social media platform bio. It's a free consultation. So be clear, the book is separate from the consultation, 2 different things. Okay. So let's dive right into this. So I'm going to share with some facts, figures, numbers, logic, but I'm always going to direct you back to people who actually go to origin. Okay. It's very, 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 very important, because what I hear people say is when they say, oh, they believe stuff just because someone told them. We are now in the era of origin, guys. You have to start understanding what is actually happening. So when you see a distraction on the news, you have to ask yourself, what is going on over here? Problem, reaction, solution. The person that creates a problem creates a reaction, and the people is the same person that comes up with the solution. The first person is this third person, right? Problem, reaction, solution. So Ray Dalio has shared with us his amazing teachings in his changing world order, that we are now in 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've been sharing with you guys for years now around this chart right here. And I told you guys, when we went into large debts, printing of money, internal conflict, which is happening right now, heading towards a loss of reserve currency in America, we have extremely weak leadership. And now it is here, civil war and revolution. Now, civil war and revolution is where people within their own country start to go against each other, guys. Think about this for just a moment. It's happening in America. People are protesting this war, one against the other. There's going to be massive, massive, massive division because of this invasion of Israel, guys. Man, it's deep. This stuff is biblical prophecy playing itself out. Okay. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that, but I'm telling you guys, there is a massive financial narrative here. So let's break it down. In 1971, the World Economic Forum was created by Klaus Schwab. You need to understand these things. So in January 1971, the first European management system was launched, which was the World Economic Forum, 1971. In 1971, President Nixon ended the convertibility of US dollars to gold and announced wage price controls. He said, with inflation on the rise and gold run looming, President Richard Nixon teamed enact a plan to end the dollar's convertibility to gold. Family, they didn't have your gold. Just like they don't have your money right now. That's the similarity they don't want you to see. They didn't have your gold to back your dollars, so they just ended it. They said they're protecting you from speculators, right? Now they don't have your money in the bank. They don't have your money. Every single dollar in the system is debt. We are negative debt to income ratio. So down the road here in 1973, this is wild. They surprise attacked, upends Israel and the Middle East on October 7th, 1993. October War, the devastating invasion of Arab armies launched precisely 50 years earlier, plus a day. It was the last time Israelis awoke to a life-changing assault that I can't read that, my dyslexia. But basically October 7th, 1973. And then in 1973, family, we went into the OPEC adventure, which was the oil crisis. US monthly average import price for crude oil stood at $2.75 a barrel in 1973. And by September, it was increased to 23% to $3.38. In October 1993, the Persian Gulf members of OPEC doubled the price of crude oil. Then in January 1974, they doubled it again. Okay, so let's fast forward to October 27th, 2023. On October 7th, 50 years later to the day, Palestine militant groups led by Hamas launched a large-scale invasion on the offensive against Israel from Gaza Strip, breaking through Gaza, Israel barriers, and forcing entry into Via Gaza, border crossing into nearby settlements, into Israel, and military installments. It's everywhere, all over the news. We're all looking this way. Again, my prayers and thoughts go out to all these families. It's absolutely horrible. But right away, oil prices surge. So let's pause for just a moment before we play this video. Okay. So we printed more money. They turned guys, there's a reason why they turned the printing machine on full blast. They knew they were going to switch the system, Cantillon effect. The money went to the top of the house. It bled down to the people. We put it back in the system, right? Now the stimulus has dried up. The consumer credit index is at an all-time high. Companies are destroyed on the S&P. You're going to start to see a catastrophic layoff of companies. And now we're going to war, and you're going to see they're trying to cool inflation, but you're going to see gas prices go through the roof. We can't even borrow anymore. It's too expensive. The normal everyday person can't buy a house. Remember 1971, the World Economic Forum was created. You're going to own nothing and be happy. Interesting. But we fight against this, but we're not doing anything about it to change our ways, to change our spending habits, to build our relationship with God. The reason why, I'm going to get on my soapbox here, the reason why America is screwed, because we turned our backs on God. Welcome to a godless country. It is not in God we trust on our dollar bill. It's in man we trust. All this is man-made that's happening, guys. This isn't God playing out. This isn't how God works. God is unconditionally loving to humanity and gave us free will. This is our actions, our behaviors, our lack of discipline that is creating this. And if every single person in humanity turned, just like Jesus has the world in his hand and he's pointing up to God, and in between is his heart, if everybody turned away from the world and went up into their heart, into unconditional love, and loved God with all their heart, therefore love God as they love humanity as they love God. If we stopped judging other people and we looked at our own selves and the demonic nature inside of us and healed that and transmuted that light into darkness, and if we treated others as we want to be treated, all this would go away. But we know that's not going to happen. And I'm not your God. I'm not your leader. I'm not your coach. So I can't tell you how to live your life. All I can do is inspire myself to live a good life. And that's what needs to happen right now. So you're going to see a surge in oil prices. You're going to see prices go through the roof. Right? I think exports or imports are being affected.
After Hamas's surprise attack on Israel, the threat of US and Iran entanglement. Crude oil rallying after Hamas's surprise attack on Israel, the threat of US and Iran entanglement growing, especially if action is taken against Tehran. Sokjen weighing in on the market implications, writing this: in terms of risk premium, we see an increase of $5 to $10 per barrel. The risk of escalation is real, and while Iran may not have nuclear weapons, it does have a stranglehold on the Straits of Hormuz, through which 20 to 30% of global crude oil flows. Joining us now, a man who knows a little something about the crude market, Stuart Wallace out of Dubai. Stuart, you and the team, as you look at things right now, have you changed your expectations on crude supply coming out of the region?
Not so far. I mean, it is absolutely true to say they have a stranglehold over Hormuz, but with the proviso that no one has ever successfully managed to take Hormuz down for any length of time. So you can definitely make life more difficult. But I will also argue in the long term, it's not necessarily in the interest of Iran to do that. I mean, for one thing, just to remind to everyone, you've got the US Fifth Fleet sitting up in Manama, not that far away. Is that really sort of a bear you want to prod? I think the second leg of it, which is tougher sanctions, or at least a more careful control of what's coming out of Iran, there is that certainly is a possibility. And at a time when OPEC is still constraining supply, that would clearly have a more immediate impact on the market. So I think it's those two factors, but of the two of them, the more likely approach, at least for now, seems to be on the sanctions. But again, we'll watch and wait.
Stuart.
Okay, so basically we're gonna watch and wait, guys. What I want you to see is that this is all financial, guys. It's such a dark part of our world that we live in, the worldly thing. It's like people are so addicted to power. That's the devil's playground. When they asked Jesus, who was the prince of the earth, the devil, guys. We're in the devil's playground, guys. So this stuff is to be expected by demonic people. Like that's just how they operate, right? They're dark ass people. They're broken little boys and girls who are scared, who are abandoned, and they're looking for attention. What do children do when they want to? They throw temper tantrums. This is like adult temper tantrums that are happening, and unfortunately, we're in the crosshairs of that, but we're here to transmute this darkness into light, not to protest against it, not to fight against it, but to eradicate it within us, the microcosm to the macrocosm. Okay, attack on Israel, what investors, economists, and strategists are saying about the effect on the markets. So global financial markets are already rattled by the elevated interest rates and now face fresh dose of geopolitical uncertainty following Hamas' surprise attack on Israel. Let's go back. It's all playing out. It's all playing out, guys. This whole chart right here by Ray Dalio is playing out to the T, to the T. I've been sharing this information since 2020 when I started to take the 8 to 9 hours a day of research I did and start putting it on YouTube and TikTok. And so now here we are. But what have I done to prepare for this? I've done the best I can with the resources I have within my current paradigm. Number one is I don't focus on anybody else. I focus on my family and getting my house in order. Fasting every single day, high intensity training every single day. I spend multiple times throughout the day with God, connecting with God. I study the life of Jesus. I'm studying deep the ascension process. And the thing that I believe the true teachings of Jesus, what he was really here to teach us is that we are all made in the likeness and image of God. I love humanity with all my heart because I love God with all my heart. I treat others as I want to be treated, and I don't judge you. I pull the log out of my eye before I pull the straw out of my own eye. That's why I'm the richest man in the world. Then when it comes to the physicality of resources, I use cryptocurrency as a speculative asset. I exit the markets when everybody is coming in. I do the opposite of the public, the 99%, because if the devil is the prince of the earth, and I don't want to do what the devil does. I don't want to follow his direction. I don't want him controlling my thoughts, my actions, or my emotions. So what I do is I take control of my thoughts, my actions, and my emotions. I do the opposite of the 99%. Because if I wanted what the 99% has, I would do what the 90% does. But I flipped it 4 years ago, and now I have what the 1% has. Does that make sense? And so the 1%, I'm one of the richest men in the world within the 1%, in my opinion, because I have a relationship with God. You can take away my crypto, you can take away all this stuff. When I speak of wealth, it's wealth that is not physical, right? But by having wealth that is not physical, it creates magnetism. By having magnetism, money flows to me easily and frequently. I'm so happy and grateful the money comes to me in increasing quantities, multiple sources on a continuous basis. God rest Bob Proctor's soul. I know his spirit is still here. Okay, so cryptocurrency. Then I use insurance, tier one capital. I'm going to say this every single day because I'm trying to help as many people as possible with our insurance company. I referred insurance for 3 years before I ever got licensed. I got licensed because I fell in love with the product because it feels secure to me. I don't trust any of this bullshit. The fiat money, crypto's fake money. It's all fake money. You're using fake money to buy fake money, guys. I don't trust anything that's in this quantum field, but insurance is tier one capital, guys. Everybody's like, well, what if the dollar collapses? Guys, if insurance collapses, you better be ready for a zombie apocalypse. It's tier one capital. It's at the bottom of the risk pyramid. So that's where I secure my wealth. And that's where I know that I'm going to be able to retire, which makes me feel comfortable, right? And then I have business, which is high risk, of course, but I'm diversified. I'm risk adverse in information technology and attention. And then we're going into real estate. I have a single family home, and now we're going to go into multifamily homes, multifamily as we go into 2024, as we surround ourselves with experts. I'm not an expert in that category, but I do need depreciation. Then we got precious metals. I have silver. I'm going into gold next year. And then self-development and my relationship with God is my number one focus, because that gives me everything I need, right? So it's like, I don't know. I just really love you guys. I do know. I know that I know that I know. What am I talking about? Why do we say I don't know? We all know. And so I just want to share to all religions, all people, I love you. I love you very, very, very much. And I, for not 1 minute, think that Jesus was coming to teach us to separate ourselves. That's why he went from village to village, and his disciples were the most unlikely characters. They were you and I. They were broken people, man. They were the thugs of the world. And he took the thugs of the world and made them the greatest leaders of all time by giving them belief in themselves, by teaching them powerful techniques to raise their energy frequency, right? He told them, hey, don't tell anybody, because Jesus knew that we would feel those people and we would ask, right? So be careful. Be careful with those people doing vain repetition. Be careful with trusting things without knowing origin, right? Be careful of just parroting information without understanding why you believe that. So if somebody asks you why you believe what you believe, would you be able to answer that? I started asking myself that. I wasn't able to answer, even 4 years ago. Why do I believe what I believe? Oh, because I heard it somewhere. Well, what does that mean? That's history. That's his story. So I created my own paradigm. The difference for me 17 years ago, completely broken, addicted, suicide, to who I am today is Christ. That's the difference. And it's not about me going to a church or prescribing to a religion. It's about just love and humanity and being a good person and working really hard on myself and being disciplined, because the path to the light is difficult, so the weak and weary will not follow. It's suffering that gets you there. That's what Jesus' story is about. It's about suffering with purpose. You're here to transmute darkness into light. So all this darkness happening, that means there's going to be a lot of light after this, guys. So don't get caught up in the bullshit. Get caught up in getting your house in order. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys.